Morning, guys. I've already got the thread started on here. We've got some Nano Silk 50D. You can do any 50D gel spun. I like the gel spun because there will be a reason later, but you will see as we go. First thing, we're going to do a little silver tag on the butt of this thing. And I'm just using some Legerton medium flat braid. This one has a little bit of texture to it. You can do just the flat shiny if you want. Just tying that in, bringing it back to just past the point of the hook, and I'm going to bring it back up. We want about 5 wraps of this. Get it right there. Tie it off on the underside, bring it around, and then just wiggle it back and forth because it's metal and you can just break it off pretty easily. Next thing we're going to do, bring the thread to about where I want my green tag to be on this. I don't know if I mentioned, but this is going to be a green butt silver Hilton, or my version of it. Next thing we're going to do is tie in a tail. This is gadwall feathers in natural. We're going to just peel off the one side right here, because I'm going to use the other part of this for the collar. The tail doesn't have to be super pronounced, but I like it to go just to the end of the hook. This is a size 3 Alec Jackson. Get my fingers out of the way. I'm going to cut this right where my green butt's going to be. Tie all this down, bring it back. Okay, next thing, we're going to tie in some silver tinsel, if I can find it. It's on this desk somewhere. Nope, it's in my box. Sorry for the delay on this part. All right, we got some medium uni French oval tinsel. I guess this is large. We'll go large. I like large. I'm gonna bring this up, get a couple wraps on it, turn it over to your side of the hook because I'm a left-handed tire. And I want it to line up right with the return eye. And I'll do some open spiral wraps just to get it up there. Right to there, and now I'll just crank it all in. All the way down. So we've got our tinsel tied in, we've got our butt, we've got our ribbing, tuck the ribbing out of the way. Next, we're gonna use some Sen's Fusion Dub in Lizard and a little bit of dubbing wax. Take the dubbing wax, do about 3 inches-ish. I probably did like 4 there, but that's fine. I like the dubbing wax because it helps it stick. We'll get it kind of loosely on there, and then I'm gonna do a loop, close that off, and we're gonna spin this up so it's really tight, like a cord, like a chenille. We're basically making a really slim chenille by doing it this way. Just let it spin, let it do its thing. Once you've got it like that, it just makes it really tight and keeps it nice. You can just wrap it on. I like my green butt to be, I'd say about 1/4 of an inch, maybe a little less than 1/4 inch. And then the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna do another one of those, but this one's gonna be much longer because we're gonna be using some black Angora goat. So probably 7 inches on this one. So black Angora goat. This stuff is kind of a nightmare to dub onto a thread tightly, so that's where this idea of doing a loop after I get it on there really came into play. So about like that. So that's, yeah, about 7 inches. Close it off. This is where the gel spun comes in nice because you can spin this up and you don't have to worry about the thread breaking. Get that all the way to the front, and then I'm going to take my whip finisher, close that off so that that can't go anywhere. And I'm going to use the rotary function of this vise to spin this all up. Okay, so get this in the dubbing spinner, spin it up, like so. Just because this is so long that I don't want to try to spin this around the hook, so this is easier. You can totally just use a chenille and you'll end up with a much thicker body. I like the really slim bugginess of this versus the chenille. Okay, so we've got that. Take our large oval tinsel, one wrap right through the green butt, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this is going to be our out. Keep it on the bottom, especially with this large. It's kind of bulky and you don't want it on the side of the hook or on the top of the hook, so it'll make everything sit funny. Next, we're going to take some ring rump pheasant hackle in black and just expose the tip. This just makes it really like wispy and gives it a little bit extra wiggle in the water when it's flowing down. Find that tip, just nip it out. Take your scissors and run it down the top edge. You probably get about 3 to 4 turns with this, and that's totally plenty. I got like 4.5 turns out of it. Those little wisps just kick in the water once it gets going. This is what we use to make our tail, and we just ripped off that little bit. We wanted to rip off that top part because when we're wrapping it leaves a nice clean edge. So we're going to tie this in, fold it back, get that tip out of there again. Run our scissors down the top edge. Just gently pull, wrap this around. This feather likes to kind of like lay against everything, but that pheasant rump is really nice because it kind of props it a little bit. And once I get this tied in, I'm gonna kind of break those fibers up with my fingers. Just kind of twist and turn it and get everything not connected to itself again. So it looks like that now. And you could totally fish this just like this, and this would catch a steelhead, if not fool some cutthroat. Next thing we're gonna do though is we're going to take some Ewing feathers. The Ewing company makes these that are really good for like intruders and all those type of flies. Use these bottom rounded tipped ones. These are the ones we want to use for the wing on this. They just look really nice and clean. I already measured these and pre-prepped them. Gives you a reason to use those hackles that you don't normally use on your intruder flies. You see how it's kind of standing up right now? That's totally okay. I just grab these little stem ends, I fold them up. You can fold them down too, but I've just been folding them up because it's easy, and then I find them and just nip them out of there. Okay, so you see how our wing is sitting up a little bit? We're gonna whip finish this off, get our thread out of the way. I'll show you really, you could just leave those wings just like that and no one's gonna care except for maybe you. I'll show you a little trick on getting them to lay nice and pretty. Grab them both and just, I'm gonna put one finger right here, take these 2 fingers, pinch the feathers and just push forward and press down, and it'll cause them to lay a little bit better and gives them a nice little curve, so it looks really pretty for your photos if you want them. That's it. That's the silver hints. Green butt silver Hilton. This is Jim Sens over the Oregon Fly Fishing blog. Tie some up, give it a shot, see how it goes. I hope you guys have a great day.